There's so many ways that we can customize our games. And I think that this is one of the things I've been reluctant to do as a DM. And I don't know why. The topic that's on my mind today, and is probably true of all role-playing games, and certainly of D&D. In fact, I would go as far as to say it has possibly changed greatly in 5th edition D&D, and maybe that's just my perspective, which is totally fine. Let's talk about today in the vlog, let's talk about D&D and rewards. And I'm specifically, of course, mostly addressing the DMs out there. And if you run a game, maybe you run into the same challenge I'm feeling right now. I want to provide more, I don't know if it's incentives is the right word. That's probably not the right word at all. But I definitely want to reward, and that might not even be the best word for this situation. But I definitely want to present more stuff to the players. I want them to feel like at the end of a session, maybe not a session, but certainly at the end of an arc, for sure if it's a one-shot at the end of the session, definitely at the end of an arc, I want them to feel like they accomplished something. And back in the day, like in Advanced Dungeons & Dragons and 2nd edition Dungeons & Dragons and all this kind of thing, it used to be like loot, right? Coins for sure, and gems and jewelry, of course, on occasion if it made sense, but then also things like scrolls and potions and the illustrious magical items. And that was sort of like the whole reason you're playing the game, it felt like. Like, if you're not going to get stuff at the end of a session, or at least, again, at the end of a big fight with a boss, or, like your nemesis, or, huge, you finish fighting some giants, you kind of want to find some stuff, some loots, right? And I feel, maybe it's just my perspective, but I feel like in 5th edition, it doesn't feel like it's as there. It doesn't feel like it's as much of rewarding stuff. And that's probably just me. It's probably just my perspective. And so what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to think about, like, what are great ways to reward my players? Whether it's a one-shot or whether it's players that have been running in my game for months. I want to take it to the next level for them. I want to present them with something that makes them feel like they are special, they are extraordinary, they are heroic, and all of that. Now, in session 1, this might be a little easier than in session 101, or 51, or even 21. Because in session 1, especially if you're starting with players at first level, giving a player like a longbow can be a pretty big upgrade if they only have a short bow. If you give them, say, a set of good armor, like splint mail armor, or even half plate armor for a fighter, is a huge upgrade at first level. And so there are things you can do. So say if you go in a party, they get, a stash of coins, they get a new and you could go overboard. Maybe you make it a special, like, beautiful, well-crafted, trimmed in gold suit of half plate or something like this. And maybe it's just a long sword, but maybe it's a long sword that has an extra keen edge and gives, it doesn't give you the +1 to hit, but it gives you a +1 to damage or something like that. There's so many ways that we can customize our games. And I think that this is one of the things I've been reluctant to do as a DM. And I don't know why. Maybe it's because I don't have the years and years of experience as a DM to draw upon. I'm still kind of new to running the game, and I think that probably is where it is. I don't feel like I have given myself permission to to share those things, to give those things out when it's appropriate. I want my players to feel like, woohoo, at the end of a session, like we did something great. So as I get ready for this session, I'm going to do it's either going to be a one-shot, maybe a two-shot, like maybe we'll do a session 0 where we set up the characters and then move into an actual like full-on game session the next time we meet. And that might even turn into a long-term campaign. I'm not sure. My Tuesday game, I think, is going to switch to doing Roll20. We were meeting face-to-face, but people have moved, and this is the way life goes. And it's one of the things that's so great about virtual tabletops. I really want to delve into Fantasy Grounds. That's probably a topic for another video sometime in the future, because I haven't had a chance to try it out, but I like it. I've only tried it once, and I like it. I'm just more familiar with Roll20, so that's what we're going to probably do for the foreseeable future, assuming we can get the group back together. And who knows, maybe it's going to be a mishmash of a couple different people that I've pulled together from different places and different groups, and we maybe form a larger, 4 or 5 person adventuring party. That could be fun. So we'll see what happens. But what are your ideas? Like the group that's been playing the longest, they're at like 10th level now, I think. So I feel like they deserve something big. And I'm toying with the idea of like giving them a keep, or giving them a mansion, or giving them some land or property, or a stronghold, or something like that. Maybe it's not even that. Maybe it's like some retainers, some like men at arms that are there to do their things, or even a group of individuals, like almost like a small mercenary group. Maybe that's not the right way to do it. Retainers was probably the better idea, of like a small group that's gonna take care of their stuff, handle their stuff for them. And I don't know, maybe that's not it. Maybe it's just a function of like some better and more powerful magic items that they can keep long term. I'm not sure. These things are constantly rolling around in my head. So if you have some ideas, some suggestions, I would love to hear your thoughts, and maybe what you've done in the past in one of your campaigns. How can I take that into my campaign and maybe use it for these awesome players who I really feel like deserve something fun and exciting? And share your thoughts. That would be really helpful for me, and then we can help each other and grow this community together. So I'll see you tomorrow on the next vlog. Thanks for tuning in, and please remember, it's your game, so play your way. It used to be like loot, right? Coins for sure, and gems and jewelry, of course, on occasion if it made sense, but then also things like scrolls and potions, and the illustrious magical items.